Hello everyone. Welcome once again to Chem.top. Today I am starting part 3 of chapter 3 of class 10th metals and non-metals. Topics covered in this part are occurrence of metals, minerals and ores, metallurgy, that is concentration of ores, reduction of ore and refining of ore, and then extraction of metals having low reactivity, moderate reactivity and high reactivity. So let us start our chapter with occurrence of metals. Now most of the metals are found in the earth crust either in the free state or in the combined state. Generally more reactive metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, etc. are found in the combined state only because they are very reactive and they readily combine with other elements. Now very less reactive metals like gold and platinum, they are found in free state because they do not react with any other element. Now copper and silver are also found in the combined state as sulfides and oxide ore. Mostly metals are found in the form of oxide ore as oxygen is very reactive element and found in abundance in the earth crust. Now the next topic is minerals and ores. Metals are found in the earth crust in the form of their compound and these compounds are termed as minerals. Now all the minerals are not suitable for extracting ore, so only those minerals by which metals can be easily and profitably extracted are termed as ores. Now the next term is gangue or matrix. The earthy, sandy and rocky impurities present along with ore is called gangue or matrix. Now there is a statement, all ores are minerals but all minerals are not ore. It means that only those minerals are called ores which are suitable for extracting metals. Now next is metallurgy. The process from extraction of ore from the earth crust till we get the pure metal is termed as metallurgy. Now there are 4 steps involved in metallurgy. First is enrichment or concentration of ore. Removal of all the earthy, sandy and rocky impurities from the ore is called concentration of ore. The second step is if the ore is not in the form of oxide ore and if it is in the form of carbonate or sulfide ore, we convert it into oxide ore because it is easy to reduce oxide ore rather than carbonate or sulfide ore. Now the third is reduction of oxide ore. The removal of oxygen from the oxide ore is called reduction of oxide ore, in which we get the metal. Now the metal which we get from reduction of oxide is not pure, so the last step is purification or refining of ore. So we start with the first step, that is concentration or enrichment of ore. Now first step is to crush the ore in the jaw crusher or grinding in a ball mill and get the ore in the powdered form. Now how we concentrate the ore, it depends upon the nature of the ore particle and the impurities present in them. So there are different methods. I am starting with the first method, that is hydraulic washing. Now see in the diagram, in the hydraulic washing it is based on the principle of the difference in the densities of the ore and gangue particle. Means maybe the gangue particle is heavier or the ore particle is heavier. Mostly the gangue particles are generally lighter and ore particles are generally heavier. So in the figure, we just introduce the crushed ore from this funnel. Here the crushed ore is introduced and a stream of water is passed over this ore. All the lighter gangue particles comes down along with water and the ore particles, that is metal particles, remain here. In this way we remove the impurities or gangue particles from the ore through hydraulic washing. Now the next method is froth flotation method. First of all, this method is used for the concentration of sulfide ores. The principle of ore is wetted by oil, means it is attracted towards the oil, and impurities are wetted by water, that means impurities are attracted towards water. Now see in the figure, in this method we take a container and in this container we take water and the crushed ore and we pass the air through this pipe, and here the holes are present. So when we pass compressed air through this pipe, the air comes out with the hole and the froth is produced. Froth means jhag. So froth is produced and this froth comes up and we add pine oil here. Pine oil attract the ore particles and comes on the surface in the form of froth and it will skimmed out and impurities remain at the bottom along with water. Now the next is magnetic separation. The principle of this method is difference in the magnetic properties of ore particle or gangue particle. So we use it, either the ore is magnetic like iron, cobalt or nickel, or the gangue impurities are magnetic. So see in the figure, here is two rollers are present. One is normal roller and the second one is magnetic roller. Now finally grounded ore is introduced through here, and when this ore reached over here, this magnetic wheel is actually electromagnet. So when we pass the electricity through it, it is converted into magnet, and when the ore comes here in contact with this magnetic wheel, then the magnetic particle, whether it is ore or whether it is gangue, it collected in the other heap and the normal particle collected on the other heap. In this way we can separate the magnetic and non-magnetic particle from each other. Now the next method is chemical separation. The principle of this method is the difference in the chemical properties of ore particle and the gangue particle. For example, in the extraction of aluminium from bauxite ore, that is Al2O3, alumina, that is Al2O3, react with concentrated NaOH to form sodium aluminate, which is soluble in water, and impurities being insoluble can be separated by filtration. Now the next method after the concentration of ore is to convert the carbonate or sulfite ore into the oxide ore. Now the conversion of carbonate ore into oxide ore is called calcination, and the conversion of sulfide ore into oxide ore is termed as roasting. Now the question is, why we have to convert these carbonate or sulfide ore into oxide ore? The answer is, it is easier to reduce oxide ore rather than carbonate or sulfide ore. That is why we convert carbonate or sulfide ore into oxide ore. So we start calcination and roasting. So what is calcination first of all? So the definition is, it is the process to convert carbonate ore into oxide ore by strong heating in the absence of air. Remember one thing, calcination process takes place in the absence of air. आप इसको इस तरह से भी याद रख सकते हैं कि carbonate में oxygen is already present, so you need not to give extra oxygen. This is just a way to learn it. So the process of conversion of carbonate ore into oxide ore in the absence of air by strong heating is called calcination. The reaction is calcium carbonate when heated. This is the symbol of heat, triangle. So when heated, it is converted into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So CO2 is released in this process, and it is done in the absence of air, as I already told you. Now the next process is roasting. So what is the definition of roasting? It is the process to convert sulfite ore into oxide ore by strong heating in the presence of excess air. The reaction is, when zinc sulfide reacts with excess oxygen, it is converted into zinc oxide and the SO2 gas is released. So in this case, SO2 gas is released and it is done in the absence of air. So this is the definition of calcination and roasting, equations of calcination and roasting, and also the difference between the calcination and roasting. Now the next is reduction of metal oxide into metal. Now reduction of metal depends upon the reactivity of metal. So if the metal is very less reactive, then it may be reduced by just by heating. So the first is reduction by heating alone. So the unreactive metals like mercury can be reduced easily by the action of heat. Now the chief ore of mercury is cinnabar, that is mercuric sulfide. Now first of all, we convert this mercuric sulfide into mercuric oxide by the process called roasting. So we heat it in the presence of oxygen and it converted into mercuric oxide along with the evolution of SO2 gas. Now the next step is we heat this mercuric oxide, and by heating only the mercury and oxygen are separated, that is reduction of mercury oxide takes place and we get the mercury metal. Now the next is chemical reduction. Chemical reduction में first is reduction by carbon. Now moderately reactive metals like zinc, iron, etc. are reduced by coke, that is carbon. This process is called smelting. Now zinc oxide when reacts with carbon, it is converted into zinc plus carbon monoxide. Now advantage of this method is carbon is easily available and it is cheap. And disadvantage is it contaminate the metal. Now the second method for the chemical reduction is reduction by aluminium. This is very important topic. Now some metals are reduced by aluminium and the reaction is called thermite reaction. तो क्वेश्चन आपसे जनरली thermite reaction के नाम से भी पूछ लिया जाएगा या आपसे पूछा जा सकता है कि which method is used for the welding for joining broken parts of iron. So this is the same, that is thermite reaction. So the reduction by aluminium is called thermite reaction or aluminothermite reaction, first thing. Now the second thing is reaction is when manganese oxide reacts with aluminium, then it is converted into manganese plus aluminium oxide is formed. Now this reaction is used for welding for joining broken pieces of heavy iron like girders, railway tracks, etc. Now in this reaction lot of heat is produced, so iron obtained is in the molten state and this iron is poured into the broken pieces and when it solidifies it joined the broken part. Now the reaction is Fe2O3, that is iron oxide, when reacts with aluminium, it is converted into Al2O3 and iron in the molten state, which is used to join the broken part of the girders or railway lines. This is very, very important reaction. Now the next is electrolytic reduction. Now electrolytic reduction is used for very highly reactive metals which are stable and cannot be reduced by chemical reduction. So in this method, we pass the electric current through the ore. Now see the figure. Here we take a tank, a carbon lining is present. This carbon line is act as cathode because it is connected with the negative end of the battery, so it is the negative electrode, and the graphite rod, that is carbon rod, are connected with the positive end and it is called anode. Now aluminium oxide, that in molten form we take it in this tank and we pass the electricity. When we pass electricity, aluminium is broken into aluminium ion and oxide ion. Aluminium ion being positively charged move towards the cathode, that is the carbon lining, and collected at the bottom. There is the outlet of the molten aluminium, and the oxygen being negatively charged come to the anode, react with the carbon present at the anode and convert it into carbon dioxide and remove from here. And in this way carbon is used up, hence we take 3-4 rods of carbon in this process. Now the next process is refining of metal. Now the metal which we obtained from the reduction is not very pure. So to get the metal in the purest form, we use the process called refining or purification. Now the first method is liquefaction method. Now the principle of this process is difference in the melting point of the pure metal and the impurities. It is used for the metals having low melting point. When we heat this metal, then the impurities will remain in the solid form and the metal melt and collected separately. Now the next method is oxidative refining. In this method, we treat the metal with the oxygen. Impurities react preferably with oxygen and convert it into the volatile form and metal left behind. Now the third method is electrolytic refining. This is very, very important. In this method, see the figure, we take the impure metal as anode. This is the rod of the impure metal and this is the thin strip of the pure metal. We take it as cathode. Now, and the soluble salt of metal is taken as electrolyte. So anode is rod of impure metal, cathode is thin strip of pure metal, and electrolyte is aqueous solution of soluble salt of metal. When electricity is passed, metal from the anode comes to the solution converted into ions, and these ions then get deposited over the cathode in the pure form, and by the end of the process only impurities left behind here in the form of anode mud. Now metals of different reactivity have different methods for their extraction. So I am starting this method with the metals with low in reactivity. I am taking example mercuric sulfide, that is cinnabar. Mercury is very less reactive metal, so we can reduce it by heating alone, as we already studied about it. Now the first is we have to convert the sulfite ore into oxide ore by the process of roasting. So mercuric sulfite is heated in the excess oxygen and it is converted into mercury oxide. This is the first step. In second step, we heat the mercuric oxide and it is converted into mercury, which is in the liquid form. Now the next less reactive metal is copper. Now the chief ore of copper is copper glans, that is cuprous sulfide Cu2S. First step is roasting. In this method we react Cu2S with oxygen and the Cu2S is converted into cuprous oxide. Now the next process is reduction. Now here no external reducing agent is required. When the sufficient amount of copper oxide is formed, then this copper oxide reacts with cuprous sulfide to convert it into copper along with the SO2 gas. So in this way all the copper oxide or copper sulfide is reduced into copper. Now the third is refining. Here we use the electrolytic refining. In this method we take the impure rod of copper as anode, pure thin plate of copper as cathode, and the copper sulfate solution as electrolyte. When we pass the electricity, copper ion move from anode comes to the solution, and then from solution copper ion comes to the cathode and deposited as copper solid. And by the end of the process only impurities left behind here as anode mud. Now the next is extraction of moderately reactive metals, that is metals which are present middle in the reactivity series. So the example of this type of metal are zinc, tin and lead. Now these are extracted by the reduction of their oxide with the help of carbon, aluminium, sodium or calcium. So these are the elements which are used for reduction of these metals. Now if the metals are present in the form of their carbonate or sulfide, then first we convert them into oxide ore by the process called calcination or roasting respectively. Now I am taking example of zinc. The chief ore of zinc is calamine, that is zinc carbonate, ZnCO3 or zinc blend. So if it is zinc blend, then we use the method called roasting, and if it is zinc carbonate, then we use the method called calcination to convert them into oxide ore. So here calcination process, zinc carbonate when heated converted into zinc oxide, and the roasting process, zinc sulfide reacts with oxygen to form zinc oxide. Now the second is reduction of zinc oxide with carbon. So zinc oxide when react with carbon, carbon acts as reducing agent here. It is converted into zinc solid and carbon monoxide. In this way zinc is obtained from its ore. Now the next is extraction of highly reactive metals, that is metals present at the top of the reactivity series like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, etc. Now in this case we use the method called electrolysis of their molten chlorides and oxides. Now I am taking an example of sodium chloride. We take the container, and in this container we take the molten sodium chloride, take two graphite rod. One is connected with the negative end of the battery, that is called cathode, and one is connected to the positive end of the battery and called anode. Now when we pass electricity through this molten NaCl solution, it is converted into Na plus ion and chloride ion. Now Na plus ion being positively charged attracted towards the negatively charged electrode, that is cathode, and here it gain electron, that is reduction takes place and it is converted into sodium metal. So sodium metal obtained at cathode, and chloride ion being negatively charged move towards anode. Here it lose electron, that is oxidation takes place and it is converted into chlorine atom, and two chlorine atoms reacts with each other to form chlorine gas. So the final product is sodium is obtained at the cathode and chlorine gas is obtained as the anode. Now the next example of this is extraction of aluminium from aluminium oxide. Now here we take a tank. In this is called electrolytic tank. In this we take the aluminium oxide in the molten form. Here we add some cryolite and fluorspar to make the molten mass more conducting and to reduce the melting point of the alumina. Now the lining of this tank is made up of carbon and it acts as cathode, that is negative electron, and as anode we take some graphite rod and they act as anode or positive electrode. Now when electricity is passed through this alumina, then alumina, that is Al2O3, dissociate into aluminium ion and oxide ion. Now aluminium ion being positively charged move towards cathode. Here it takes up electron, that is reduction takes place and converted into aluminium metal. So aluminium metal is collected at the bottom and can be collected from that outlet. At anode, oxygen gas is evolved, and this oxygen gas reacts with the carbon or graphite or of that rod and converted into CO2. In this way, this carbon of the rod get consumed, and that is why we take so many rods of carbon here. Hope you like the video. If you find it useful, please hit the like button and check the description box for the links of the previous parts of this chapter. Also subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you.